All right, we're just getting set up now, so hang tight. Setting up TikTok live as well, simultaneous feed on my camera feed, but for all of you on Substack, you're getting the optimized live, because you get all the visuals and you get all the graphics and the music in the background, and the better sound quality, and the better video quality. But TikTok is still cool because it is allowing me to get my reach expanded to new viewers and listeners. Just getting set up and we're almost ready, folks. TikTok is now live as well. Is the suspense getting to you? We're on a countdown here. Almost there. There we are. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 28 of The Dream is True. MK Schultz here, horror sci-fi author, and I'm with you, probably for the next good hour and 15 or a little more. I see that we have A.L. McDonald joining us on Substack. Thank you so much, A.L. McDonald. It's so awesome to have you join me as always. Let's get on to the show. MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, on episode 28, and the show begins now. So the image on your screen, if you're watching on Substack, is that of the fruit pyramid. This is how I summoned the universe to guide me to my destiny of becoming an author. Wielding the fruit pyramid is a call for help when you are unaware of what kind of help it is that you need. For me, the call was answered by a powerful realization that suddenly manifested into reality when I finally found the mysterious dream that had been hidden from my true self for my whole life. I found my purpose: to be a writer. Join me for more about the fruit pyramid and other behind-the-scenes bits from my writing journey each week here on Substack and TikTok. And for those of you on TikTok, thank you for joining and dropping by. I'm keeping TikTok going because you guys are giving me gifts over there on TikTok, so that's so much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, thanks so much to my TikTok viewers as well as over on Substack. That is the fruit pyramid segment of the show. On to next, a little bit of a description portion for you guys. So those two images are kind of the look of The Dream is True now. I'll just run through a bit of an explanation for you of what they are. So this image here we have that's for the weekly newsletter, which comes out every Wednesday, called The Dream is True, and also this live show that you're watching right now, which is also called The Dream is True. And you know how I love the number 3. So the third part of The Dream is True is a podcast. I'm so excited to have a podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a whole bunch of other podcast sites as well. So yeah, if you're in the mood for just listening and not wanting to see the visuals, maybe my voice can put you to sleep. And you can check me out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're going to close those videos down. And now we're going to go into a recap. Hello, everyone on TikTok. Nice to see everyone joining. Hello, everyone on Substack. If you're around on either platform, please let me know in the comments, and please like, forward, and follow if you're into the journey of The Dream is True with MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author. So last week in our reading, we had, here's the image. It is a sort of a mimic of a pencil type drawing of Audric the Crow. Audric, for those of you who have been following me along on the journey, is the secret. He's the great secret keeper, and he serves a very important purpose in the organization of Cassius Cannix. So in last week's reading, last week's reading of Cassius Cannix, this is a recap, just to catch you up for today's reading of chapter 28, which is going to be so epic. I really hope you guys stick around for that, because it's I do a pre-read of the chapter every Thursday, and I really, I love these chapters, even more so the ones near the end where we're at right now. I'm just so happy about them, and how they came together. So I can't wait to share chapter 28 with you later on in the show. But in last week's chapter reading, it is becoming clear that Cass is changing. When Rock calls him to ask what to do with the thugs who attempted to harm his family, he gives the order for them to be killed. So that's a big development that was given away in last chapter. Meanwhile, Orion sends someone from the organization to infiltrate the prison where Modes is being held. It is not revealed who this member of the organization is, but it will later be revealed in Book 3. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler here. That was none other than the assassin, aka the Rage, the keeper of the Russia pod. And that was a glimpse that already happened in Book 1. And so, yeah, there's so much more to go in this story in Books 2 and 3. But that was so fun to have that sprinkled in already this early in Book 1 of the trilogy. Cass begins the second training and is introduced to a crow named Audric the Great Secret Keeper. In his training, Cass is encouraged to explore his hidden ability to will things to happen. He does so by controlling his dream to communicate with Audric. In the dream, Audric reveals that Cass will be taking Orion's place as the leader of the organization. Audric tells Cass that he has the power to will things to happen. This is the big reveal, and there's more coming. He also tells him that he has kept his power hidden, all the while knowing deep inside that he was meant for something greater than the occupation that he had become trapped in. I mean, yeah, you can see my inspiration, from the fruit pyramid in my real life to the parallel universe of Cassius Canics in my novel. That's where the ideas are kind of in a parallel universe kind of way. Training with the ants brought Cass's awareness of his childlike mind back. Training, too, taught Cass about the struggle of his life after childhood and how he spent so many years doing something he was not meant to do. This is over. The time for change is now. After the third training, Cass is informed he will meet his destiny. So, yeah, do stay around for chapter 28 later on. I'm very excited to share that one with you. Hello, everyone on TikTok. Please say hi, like, forward, follow, and any gifts are super appreciated that you've been already giving me, and I'm very grateful for that. Over on Substack, please subscribe, like, follow, forward, restack. Oh my God, there's so much you can do to help a indie author live the dream. Now we are on to my books. So this part of the segment, I go through my books with you guys. So first up, we have Cassius Canics. All of my books are available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook formats, except hard copy's not yet out in audiobook, but that's probably going to be coming down the road. But yes, and wherever online where you buy books, and the link to all of my books and everything else MK is all in my bio there, so you can find that pretty easy. It's my link tree, and there's a lot of there's everything's in there all in one spot, so it's super cool. Cassius Canics is a sci-fi novel. It's a slow burn that turns into a raging fire and then teases for more. Buckle up. An ordinary man's life collapses after he is pursued by a powerful secret organization. The big question is, why him? He gradually comes to understand that he holds a mysterious dormant power within. When an unimaginable tragedy strikes his family, he defies the fundamental laws of the universe and travels through time to restore things back to normal. With cutting-edge technology, supernatural animals, and even time travel, experience a seemingly simple man's journey to destiny and greatness. Yeah, so that's the book one of the trilogy. Next up, The Fishing Trip. The Fishing Trip is a horror sci-fi novel. This book is a prequel to the first, and it ends where book one starts. Super cool character backstories will have you longing for more. Buckle up extra tight for this one. A routine fishing getaway for 5 close friends turns into a nightmare when an apocalyptic cult drags them into unspeakable evil and despair. Their only hope? A powerful time traveler racing against fate to pull them back from the brink. That is The Fishing Trip. And next up, Equilibrium. Book 3 of the trilogy is Equilibrium, horror sci-fi. This book is a continuation of book 1, and it ties in book 2's revelations for the finale. Will there be more to the story? Nothing can prepare you for Equilibrium. Brace yourself. Cassius Canics and the organization face their greatest threat yet. Evil incarnate. An alien being named Dade is determined to rob Cass of everything he's become. In a race against the destruction of the planet, he strives to restore balance. The fate of the world hangs on Cassius Canics finding his true power. a mysterious power called equilibrium. Yeah. Next up, The Muse. The Muse is an occult horror, and this book is inspired by 80s slasher movies, Stephen King horror, and even a little of American Psycho is in there, I would say. A depressed writer turns to a life of solitude as a trucker. He calls out for help on a Ouija board in a bid for inspiration. His call for help is answered by an ancient evil that promises genius, but demands murder in return. As the body count climbs, only his twin sister can stop him before the Muse claims them both. But is it already too late? Yeah. Thanks to everyone for dropping in over on TikTok. Thank you, Substack viewers. Please like, forward, follow, and comment. And I can't wait to hear from you. And also, thank you so much for joining me for episode 28 of my show. This is hard copy. Let's get the image going. Yeah. Hard copy is a sci-fi alien invasion suspense thriller. This book is inspired by Gen X TV, 80s sci-fi, conspiracy theories, and modern AI. At a wild bush party in his teens, Ray Higgins was taken by aliens. Now in his 50s, separated and disappointed, he's assigned to mentor Terra, an AI robot. When the aliens return, Ray and Terra expose conspiracies, hidden horrors, and a lizard cult of deception in a gripping story of rediscovery and rebellion. Are you ready to question reality? Thank you for everyone joining on TikTok and Substack. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. I will try to monitor the comments as closely as I can. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all the gifts over on TikTok. Super, super appreciated. Thank you for all of the awesome subscribers over on Substack. Next up, my book's in progress. Still no news on my horror novel, my new horror novel, which is a vampire novel. It's still with the publisher under review, and I'm waiting to see if they're going to accept it or not. So I still am waiting for that one. As far as my short story collection, so far I have written 49,730 words of that bad boy, complete with 13 stories so far. And the last story I finished writing was Alien Interview. Next week, I have actually started already this week, story number 14, which is called The Final Word. I've done all of the plotting and sort of as much figuring out and plotting as I generally do, because I don't do a lot of plotting before I start writing a story. But yeah, I did some planning and kind of got my general cue for a starting point and where I want to go with this one. So I'm super excited to start this one, and this one actually may be the finish of the book. So I'm after this story, I'm going to be heading into the editing phase with my short story collection. Super fun. Next up, we have, I did a book event yesterday, actually, on Canada Day, at Quality Creations in Prescott, Ontario. And I'm probably going to have more pictures for you next week, or it might actually just be a repeat, because it just happened yesterday. It didn't make it into the newsletter. I published the newsletter remotely yesterday. Actually, I had it set in a schedule because I completed it off Tuesday night because I knew I had a book event yesterday and I would be not able to do it. So yeah, we still got the newsletter out on time on Wednesday, so that was super fun. So yeah, as such, next week there might be a little bit of overlap with this one. But yeah, I was at Quality Creations yesterday. I'll show you a little image of a post I did. I did this post on, and their Facebook sort of reposted it, and their Facebook post ended up getting over 1,100 views, like almost immediately. So I was kind of pretty happy about that. It's great exposure. Some super cool things happened at the event because of the awesome advertising that they did. I'll probably hold on to that for next week because, like I said, it just happened yesterday and it didn't make it into the newsletter. So we'll have that. We'll have all of the scoop on my book event on Canada Day next week. So stay tuned for that. But here's a sneak peek, though, of my table setup. It was so damn hot, guys. It was so hot at this event. But yeah, it was worth it. It was so fun. I met some cool people. Again, more on that next week. I have to unpack that still, and I will write about that in the next newsletter, and we'll talk about it next week on the next show, next Thursday. Thank you so much, everyone on TikTok, for listening and watching, and thank you for all the gifts there over on TikTok. Thank you for everyone over on Substack. Super appreciate everyone for tuning in. Episode 28 of The Dream is True with MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author. Gotta get to maybe some new music here. Let's see. Let's try a different kind of a... I'm going to see if we go over to the next page on... This is all royalty-free music that I'm playing here. Yeah, we'll just get going on a different couple set of songs here, guys, for your background music entertainment. You won't hear that on TikTok. You'd have to head over to Substack, unfortunately, to hear the background music that I have playing low and also to see the visuals. But if you're cool with just watching my mug on TikTok, then that's maybe all you need. So I appreciate it nonetheless. Thanks so much. And that was my table setup. Super small little table setup. Yeah, because it was outdoors and there was thunderstorms threatened. So I wanted to make sure it was something I could take down super quick. And I'm glad it was like this because the wind was actually pretty heavy at times. So thank you, everyone, again. See a lot of people joining me on TikTok. That's super appreciated. If anyone is over on Substack, if you can let me know in the comments, that would be super awesome, so that I know you're listening and watching. Table shot is done. So yeah. Next up, guys, we are at the Bookish Spotlight portion of the program. Every week, The Dream is True features a talented creative whose work leaves a lasting mark in the bookish world. Today's Bookish Spotlight is... Are you ready? Ronald McGilvray. Ronald McGilvray is a writer from Ottawa, Canada. He's published short stories, scripts, novellas, and his most recent novel, The Candy Witch, is available now as a print or ebook. He is currently working on the final edits of his new novel about a gang that stumbles across an evil entity. I've got another biopic for Ron. It was hard to pick from the two that he sent me, but here they both are. There's a really cool pick, cool biopic that Ron did of himself on a road with the mist in the background. So yeah, his novel Cutters Deep, his short horror story collection. Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna get on his books for this. So let me get I'm gonna change these images off because I want to show you Ron's books for this now. Here's four of Ron's books. His novel Cutters Deep, his short horror story collection Tales from the Parkland, and his fantasy novella James' Journey to Dreamland are all available as print or ebook. Tales from the Parkland and The Candy Witch are also available as an audiobook. So that's pretty cool. So those are Ron's books. His writing credits include the short story The Garbage Collectors, which was published in Horror Library Volume 2, as well as their Best of anthology. His short story, Ukrainian Chimes, was published in the anthology Screaming for Peace. An audio version of his story, Big Boy, was produced by Pseudopop, and his story, A Night Out, was published by Dark Fire Fiction. Two of his film scripts, yeah, you heard it, that's super cool, Ron. The Storm and Chimes were produced by Cellardware Products. The Storm was chosen as one of the films to be screened at the World Horror Convention. It also screened at the Shocklines Film Festival in New York City. His story Headcase was made into a film production by Columbia College in Chicago. His film script Magic Man was optioned by Hyde Park Media. His stage play The Line was chosen as part of the reading series by St. John Theatre Company. Ronald is also the co-host of a podcast. So check out his podcast. There's a snapshot from Ronald's podcast, which he co-hosts with Michael Schotter, and it's called The Postmortem Report. And you can find that where you find podcasts. So have a look at that. That's super awesome. I'm going to check that out for sure. I didn't know Ronald had a podcast, and so I was super excited to learn that. And next up, we have, Ron. So Ron has a dog that he likes to showcase a lot in his posts, and his dog's name is Sherlock. And here's his dog. He's done this little sort of social media post where the dog is saying, "Buy and review my dad's books so I can live the lifestyle I deserve." So that's pretty funny. Ronald's got a pretty awesome sense of humor, so that's super fun to see too. And that is almost it. I have a little something to add for the Bookish Spotlight. For Ron, I'll put his photos back up. I met Ronald at Reread Books during a book event. We had a great chat about the difference between writing novels and short story collections. His social media posts with his dog Sherlock always bring a smile to my face. Visit Ronald's website to explore his books and to learn more about him. And you can find Ron at ronaldmcgilvery.com. And if you want to check out the newsletter, issue number 14 of the Dream is True newsletter, which was published yesterday, has clickable links to all of this if you want to find them there. So now that is the Bookish Spotlight of the week, guys. I've already got almost the complete month of July booked up. I'm all booked up as far as the 22nd of July so far. So I'm super excited about that. I got some really exciting authors coming up. And then there's more to come that are they're going to be epic. I got epic guests planned for this show as we continue on. But now, without further ado, we're going to head into the movies, TV, music, and books segment of the program. I am MK Schultz, horror, sci-fi author, and this is The Dream is True. You're following along in my journey, my writing journey. And each week, I have this show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok and Substack. And thank you to all who have tuned in. I really appreciate all the gifts over on TikTok, and I really appreciate all the subscribers over on Substack. You're helping to make the dream true. And for that, I am super grateful. Over now on to movies. I watched a couple of movies last week. Let's see. So this movie... So first of all, movies, TV, music, and books are a massive influence on my writing. Each week I share with you what I watched, listened to, or read. Here's last week's consumption. So for movies, I watched Dangerous Animals, starring Aziz Harrison, Jay Courtney, and Josh Houston. This movie gets 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Here's the synopsis. When Zephyr, a savvy and free-spirited surfer, is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer and held captive on his boat, she must figure out how to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. This is so crazy. The storyline is really, really great for horror lovers. It's like a thriller / horror, I would say. My take on the movie. So here's a little take on the movie that I wrote. This is an edge-of-your-seat psychological horror that is underrated in my opinion. I went into this one thinking it would be mediocre, but left feeling surprised at how good it was. The beginning scene is so intense and hooked me right away. And that's a pun, I guess, but yeah, no, it really did. It was so good that I thought the rest of the movie would most certainly decline from there, but it didn't. If you love horror and thriller movies, this is a must watch. Yeah, it was fun. Next movie that I watched this week is called An Eye for an Eye, starring Louis Tozar, Zan Sejudo, and Ishmael Martinez. This movie gets 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Here's the synopsis. A drug dealer looking for rest. A nurse looking for revenge. A crossroads where no one is safe. And here's my take on this movie. So this is a Spanish foreign film. I watched the English dubbed version. The star who plays the nurse is so intense. He's the guy on the cover of the movie. Oh my God, he's got an intense face. He's an awesome actor. I love revenge movies, and this one definitely checked all of the boxes for me. The scenes are chilling, the acting is good, and the revenge is so sweet. I found it fascinating that this is really cool. Just very unique. It's not something you see. I found it fascinating that there was a graphic birthing scene, which is actually real, I learned later. American movies would never have a scene like this. Spain does not have the same hang-up with graphic scenes of this nature, and for me, I respect that. If you're looking for a fresh take on a revenge movie that is not your typical American presentation, check this one out on Netflix. So it's kind of refreshing. I enjoy watching other movies from other countries other than America sometimes, because it's nice to see the different take on movies from those countries. All right. Thank you for everyone joining me on TikTok and Substack. Thank you for all the gifts over on TikTok, and thank you for subscribing on Substack. All of your support is super greatly appreciated. I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and I have this show called The Dream is True, which is every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining me today. And that's it for Eye for an Eye. Next up, so as far as TV goes this week, I've basically been watching like Three's Company reruns again, and also conspiracy theory documentaries. I didn't bother to get any images of those for you. But on to music. As you know, for the music section, lately I've been following Iron Maiden's tour. So I have always been inspired and motivated by heavy metal and rock music. My favorite band is Iron Maiden. When I first started my writing journey, Iron Maiden was always playing in the background, and it still is. I have always found the lyrics and sound of Maiden to be thought-provoking and inspirational. And here's an image of a collage, if you will, of all of the all of the different images from their show that took place on June 25th in Norway. So yeah, really cool images there from that. It's the part of the Run for Your Lives World Tour, and I'm following along on their tour, covering what shows they did each week. And so for last week, they did this show from the images, which was, I said already, June 25th at Oslo, Norway. On June 28th, they were at Lyon de Seine, France. And on June 29th, they were at Antwerp, Belgium. For the June 25th concert in Norway, Bruce Dickinson was on fire, hitting those high notes, changing costumes, and even leading the crowd in a rowing motion during Infinite Dreams, which hadn't been played live before this tour since 1988. Maiden leaned hard into their first 9 albums at this concert, with epic moments like the 14-minute rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. My God, I would love to see that live. That would be so epic. And a killer Power Slave with Sphinx visuals and a scorching Dave Murray solo. Unlike some other bands from the 70s and 80s who still perform to this day, Maiden does not sacrifice quality. Before the quality declines, Bruce Dickinson has stated that he would stop performing rather than deliver a mediocre, substandard performance. I've heard a lot of the footage, and yeah, they still got it. It's very refreshing to see. I don't know how they do it, but they are still delivering a level of excellence. And that, as far as books, my current read, I just picked a book yesterday. So again, it did not make it into the newsletter. So I will talk about that one next week for you guys, because I'll have that prepared for next week. So yeah, what are we on to next? Kind of my little, we're moving right along here, but that's good. Anyways, thanks so much for everyone joining on TikTok. Super happy to see you over there. Thank you on TikTok for all the gifts. I really appreciate that. All of the images and the better sound quality are over on Substack, but I'm keeping that simultaneous TikTok feed because of you. You guys are telling me that you want me to stay, so I'm staying on TikTok as well, but I have moved over to Substack. Where all the bells and whistles are, but I'm keeping you guys on TikTok because you're telling me that you want me to stay, and I really appreciate that. So once again, thank you. And if you like this program, please like, follow, forward, and and just comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what country you're from. Tell me all about your writing journey. Any other thing, that you want to connect with would be super awesome. If you're over on Substack, please let me know in the comments so that I know you're watching. And then also on TikTok, I will try to monitor the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. On to my books. Book sales, writer's tip, and writer's quirk. These are pretty tricky sort of part. This is a tricky kind of part of the show for me to come up with every week. It's been a challenge. I did it again, so stay tuned for next week to see if I can pull it off again. But for now, okay, let's go over something really cool that happened. You can read all these cool little, I call them baby step mini goal achievements. They're all in my newsletter there over on Substack on issue number 14, which was published yesterday. But as a highlight, I just wanted to talk about a new one that happened last week. Amazon Author, the website Amazon Author, only displays the number of followers for you to see on your dashboard when you reach their number threshold of at least 20 followers. So when you check how many people are following you on, as an author, when you check how many people are following you on Amazon Author, it shows 0 up until the point that you have 20 followers. Then it shows 20. So ever since I started doing this, every time I've checked it, it's always been 0. And last week I checked it and I now see the number 20. So I reached the threshold on, it's pretty cool. Like to reach 20 followers on Amazon is cool because those are people that legitimately are clicking to follow me because they want to hear about my new book releases when they come out, and that is so appreciated. So thank you for that. And then I might as well show the world again. I love this so much that I keep repeating it. I have now sold books in 8 different countries. The map of the world here shows a red dot for each of the countries, and they are Canada, USA, UK, India, France, Germany, Italy, and Australia. So thank you so much for that. Super appreciate that. And now, on to the writer's tip. Okay, guys, so for today's writer's tip, I thought I would talk about the tools that helped me bridge the gap from potential writer to actually living and breathing as a writer. So these are my tips. This was what worked for me. So I'm just sharing them with you. First, I'd say buy a smartphone if you already don't have one, and a computer for you to use as a writer. So if you don't already have a computer and a smartphone, that's all I'm saying. That worked for me. Here's the key. Do not use a work phone or a work computer. It is paramount to separate your day job from your passion. That is something that I stand by. Number 2, create a writing space, a room or an area in your house that will function as your writing space. Do not do your day job in this room. This space is sacred and should only be used for your passion. Again, I believe this separation of day job and passion to be paramount. Number 3, decorate your writing space and organize it in a way that gives you pleasure when you walk in and see it. Yeah, the smartphone is definitely a real time suck. I definitely agree. Oh my. Number 4, buy a Bluetooth speaker and set the mood in your writing space. Having like an ambiance of music playing in the background is really awesome. Schedule time to write. Do this often and don't worry about quantity yet. Just begin by focusing on consistency and the quality will follow. Number 6, keep track of your progress as a writer on a spreadsheet. Track everything, your word count, your achievements, your sales, your reviews, everything. And then as you go, more things will come into your mind that you kind of think, I should track that too. I just track it all, and it begins to show me a little gauge that I'm moving forward, I'm progressing. Number 7, read, listen to audiobooks, and watch movies and TV, and think about stories often in your daily life. So yes, consuming all of the different forms of media is what I always continuously do. And then the important thing also is the thinking part. in your day, in your downtime, doing anything throughout the day. I keep those gears grinding, keep thinking and trying to come up with new story ideas. Number 8, if you are not happy in your... Okay, this one is kind of a key one because some people may be happy in their day job and then all this other stuff probably wouldn't apply to them. But, okay, this one's for you if you're not. If you are not happy in your day job, never give up on the dream to slowly wean it out of your life. If your day job is making you unhappy, you need to remove it from your life before it kills you. Don't ever stop dreaming. Tell yourself every day that the dream is true. And that's what works for me. So it's not for everyone. That is the writer's tip of the week. And next we're on to the writer's quirk. For this week's quirk, I thought it would be fun to share a typical week in the life of MK Schultz. This week is an event week. For the purpose of this exercise, I will begin on Friday past. So yeah, I have a very busy week. It is all in my newsletter. It's so long. I'm going to leave that for my newsletter for you to go through. One of the things I did last week was I had to make a mock-up of my new table size that I was using for the event yesterday in Prescott on Canada Day. Because this is the first time I've had to set up on a super small sized table. So this is my scaled down setup, which was kind of very simple. And the focus was solely on the books, and that was it worked. It worked because of the wind and everything. So that was good. So so basically, yeah. If you want to check out my schedule, it's posted on my newsletter there. What a typical week is like for me. It's jam packed. You will see every day. It's 7 days a week. But like I say in the write up. If you're doing your passion, you never work a day in your life. So yeah, and that's it for the writer's work. Next up, we're on to food and health. Oh yeah, so what I'm gonna do for food and health? I'm just gonna basically let's just talk about the food. I'm just going to show you guys. I made a food collage. This is the crazy food I had last week. Number one was each of the 9 images here. I'll just go through them one at a time. One is barbecue steak and fully loaded baked potato, mushrooms, and onions with mango jerk barbecue sauce. Number 2, a Heineken by the pool. Number 3, burgers, flame grilling on the barbecue. Number 4, barbecue cheeseburger and homemade potato salad. Number 5, baked potatoes, grilling on the barbecue. Number 6, my wife's famous homemade potato salad. It's crazy, it's next level. Number 7, chicken breast with garden salad. Number 8, ground turkey, vegetables, and tomato sauce over steamed cauliflower topped with Greek yogurt. Yeah, those last 2 were not cheap meals. Those were actual diet meals. Number 9, breakfast quesadillas, baked beans, corn salsa, cheese omelet, fresh strawberries, and homemade toasted bread with jalapeno strawberry jam. Yeah, that was a cheat breakfast. So that was my awesome food for last week. I had super enjoy those cheat days from my diet every week and my exercise regime. So that is awesome. Next up, we are into the live reading portion of the show. So for today's live reading, I'm going to do what I tried to do last week, but hopefully a little bit of an improvement. So we're going to turn the music off, and we are going to dim the lights, and I have a little reading light for my book so that I can see it and read it to you. So just to change the mood setting for the live reading and make it differential from the rest of the live. It's kind of a cool effect on the videos too. So let's, I'm just going to go over and turn the light off, and without further ado, we will begin. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, getting set up here. All right, guys. Today's live reading. So I have my fancy little, it's a basically my reading light, which is a flying saucer that has a light and it hooks onto your book. So there's how I'm going to be able to read the pages today, because last week it was pretty hard reading it in the dark. I struggled and I did it, but it was tricky. All right, guys, I'm going to lower this down. And without further ado, Chapter 28, The Lost Coin. Far in the distant past, a memory would be pondered upon and looked back upon with fondness. It was early morning, and the sun had just began to prove it was there when the blackness slowly began to transform into light. It was as though a great dimmer switch in the sky was being turned on by someone with incredible patience. Being careful so as not to disturb his parents, the incremental slow process began, where he would silently creep out of bed and down the hall past Mum and Dad's room. Any misstep now would be very costly and would result in banishment back to bed for what would then feel like an eternity of time. The escape this morning went off without a hitch, and when he knew he made it, he felt that pleasant sensation of excitement and potential rush over him, like he felt when he threw a large rock off into the water and would then witness expanding circle formations growing so large before they too passed over from existence to non-existence, just like the darkness did in early dawn when it succumbed to the light. It was summer now, and there was nothing to do except for everything, as each day revealed new possibilities and hope for things to come. After finishing a large bowl of Rice Krispies fully smothered with sugar and milk, he went outside. The air was cool, and there was no wind. The sounds of birds were everywhere. As he walked down to the water, he could begin to hear the sound of the rapids come into existence, and it was as though it did so only because he was there to witness it. After a good long while of just staring at the water, he turned and began a slow walk in the other direction through the field. The long grass had cold spit on them as he walked through. It would sometimes get on him while he wondered what it really was. The sun was a good way up now already, and it was a lot warmer than when he had first woke up. Then, suddenly, the sound of a screen door slamming in the distance broke the feeling of serenity. "Are you coming in for some breakfast?" a voice bellowed. It was his mother, and he hoped she was making French toast. Venturing back as he entered the house, he could smell that it was just that, and he was glad. "How early did you get up?" "Not that early." "Here's your French toast." "Thanks." He poured a generous amount of ketchup on it, as he always preferred to, rather than maple syrup. And he made quick work of it. Finishing up, he laid down to watch cartoons for the rest of the morning. By early afternoon, Mother and Father were outside doing various things. With the house empty, he made his way down to the basement. At his father's workshop, there were many tools, with the purpose of some a mystery to him, while others were not. After hammering 2 nails into a board and torquing 3 screws in, he picked up a pick hammer and studied it. How its purpose differed from the other hammer was a mystery to him. "You must use the pick end of the hammer to dig or something," he thought. And the digging would not be limited only to soft ground either, he thought. Oh, 1 second here. Sorry. All right. Clasping the hammer tight in his hand, he kneeled down on the hard concrete basement floor. The first whack left a small nick in the floor. I don't know what's happening over on Substack. I'm zooming in suddenly. Several more hard blows made some more nicks that together began to form a small pothole. As he continued, so too did his mind on the possibilities of this. He committed that very moment to working on this new idea for the rest of the day and maybe even the whole summer, he thought. It would be a secret hideout when he was done. It would be a large tunnel or cave. It would be so big that he would have to bring lights and furniture down there, he thought. The possibilities would be, there's that feeling again. Second time today. It was a good day. A typical summer day filled with excitement, hope, and potential. Then he heard the voice of his mother calling. "Are you down there? Hello? Come get some lunch. Orion." Present day, back at Pod 1. Cass awoke to the sound of Charlie's voice after a knock at the door of his room. "Good morning, Cassius Canix. I trust you have slept well, for you will need to be well rested for today's third and final training. Prior to the training, Mr. O would like to meet with you again. Take your time, get ready, and enjoy a nice breakfast at the bar, and then, when you are prepared, go directly to Mr. O's desk at the main lobby. Okay, sure thing, Cass said, still a little groggy and not quite fully awake yet. Back home at the Canick's residence. I wonder what Daddy is doing, Lydia softly spoke as she stirred a second spoonful of sugar into her coffee. I am sure that your daddy is fine, hun. It is strange not having him around, but he will be back before you know it. Yeah, I know he'll be fine, but what do you think he's doing? Well, hun, his new business with Rock involves a lot of new skills that require some training, so Rock sent him to the place where he received his training. Yeah, but Rock's business is not that complicated, so why would he have to go so far? Well, Daddy said Rock's company is expanding and that Rock wants Daddy to take on a larger role in the new operations they are exploring. I don't fully understand what it is, hun, but Daddy sure is being paid well. It is nice to see him finally be valued by an employer, one who realizes that he isn't just another pretty face. Oh, Mom. That is so true, eh? Yes, hun. And it looks like we have to learn to share Daddy more now that other people are finally taking notice. The meeting. Entering into the lobby and seeing Orion sitting there among the doors felt so surreal to him. The doors looked so majestic, and the desk behind which Orion sat was so freaking cool. The lighting and the sound in the room was like a grand museum. Welcome, Cassius Canick's. Welcome. Firstly, Cassius Canick's, I would like to start with you. Is there anything you would like to know? Any questions that tax you? This was somewhat unexpected, and he immediately experienced his mind racing frantically in an attempt to pose fruit-bearing questions. Then, in a slow and calculated voice, he began. What purpose does the organization serve? What is its origin? Is it legal? And what is my role? Yes, Cassius Canick's, and you shall know all of these things and more. The answers to your question are you know, and everything. Cass was both confused and shocked by these responses, and also a little frightened as to their implications. The purpose of the organization is you. Everyone needs a job or a purpose in life. Something to keep one's hands toiling and brain churning. There is an expression which claims that if you do what you like, you will never work a day in your life. Yeah, I don't know what's happening over on. I'm seeing myself zoom in and out. Is that happening? I don't know. AL McDonald, if you're still there, is that happening on Substack, where you're seeing me all the time zooming in and out? I don't get it. Why it's doing that, but it seems to be some sort of glitch happening. Maybe it's going to correct itself. Okay, on with. Okay, good. That's just a glitch on my end. I'm happy that's the case. Awesome. Standard view. Okay, perfect. It's doing a glitch for me, but I'm glad it's not carrying through to the readers, the listeners, the viewers. Okay, on back to the story. For some, it's easy because they discover a common occupation like a doctor, lawyer, police officer, nurse, and so on and so on. You get the idea. But what does one who does not find any of these occupations appealing do? Most that fall into this category usually go through life doing whatever job they happen to fall upon. Almost by chance, you might say. This ultimately leads to an unfulfilling life in many. A life that is just lived instead of one that is alive. What the organization is, Cassius Canix, is an occupation that fits you and I. It is an occupation that allows us to live out initial childhood dreams and aspirations as adults. Dreams of tunnels and underground rooms that hold secrets. This appeals to me, Cassius Canix, and I know that this appeals to you. No, Cassius Canix, the organization is not a secret government-run body. That was just a story that Rock told you until the time arrived for the truth to be revealed to you. And that time is now, Cassius Canix. The organization is one that provides means for us to do incredible things. Things that we choose to be a part of. If we see an injustice, like a child, I can't say the word because they'll ban me on TikTok, so bleep. We have the means to intervene where the law has failed to. The focus of the organization is anything you want it to be, Cassius Canix. There is extensive technology at our disposal. Technology that we have brought here by various means. By peering into the minds of others, we have been able to assemble untapped technology. The teleportation of matter is but one of the tools in our arsenal. The reading of minds is another. But perhaps my favorite, Cassius Canix, is our greatest advance. Time travel. Time travel is really what has made the organization both profitable and also immortal. Add to these technologies your ability to control anything by your willing it to happen, and unlimited power is achieved. At this point, Cass could barely breathe as a panic attack was fast approaching. Breathing deeply, he gained his composure and pressed on. What you are speaking of does not really make a lot of sense to me, Orion. I understand and appreciate that. The third training will complete your understanding of all of this and will open your eyes to who you really are. Everything you have done up to this point in your life has been like a poor man who loses a coin in the sand. To use a parable as an example, finding the lost coin is not what will bring the man to his destiny. It is instead something much more valuable than the coin that the man discovers, which ultimately was his destiny. It was through searching that the man began to think how the effort of the search did not align with the fruit he would conclude with. And so, as time progressed in his search for the coin, he did not stop searching, but instead shifted the intent of the search from that of the coin to something much more valuable: his destiny. All right, guys, that was, how'd you like that? I was trying to do a nice dramatic reading for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to turn the lights back on now, just 1 second, and maybe we can chat. All right, how'd you like the live reading, guys? Was it okay? Were you entertained? I hope so. Over on TikTok, I saw a lot of likes going on. I saw a lot of people popping in. That was cool. Did you like the lighting? Did that work out? It was terrible last week, and so I kind of tried to really improve that portion for you guys. So I'm glad, A.L. McDonald, I'm glad you are saying that the lighting was cool. So that's awesome. Yeah, I really tried to accompany the awesome lighting by a little bit more of a dramatic reading for you too. So yeah, it's super fun for me to read these chapters over again. I wrote this, I started writing this book about probably 9 years ago, and it was a time in my life that now seems to be similar in some ways. So it's really hitting me back in the same ways that it did when I first penned these words. So yeah, I'm having a great time doing this, and I don't know what I'm going to do when we finish this book, guys, because we're done chapter 28 now. So yeah, we're coming down to the final strokes. So I don't know. Yeah, we had I started to see the numbers changed over on Substack there. I saw a few people were joining, I think, over on Substack. So I thank you for that. I'm hoping I'll be able to see some comments maybe that I missed or something. But yeah, it switches up the show, I think, too, doing the live reading with the lighting down. Let's we can get back. We can actually throw some music back on now. Yeah, right on. Back into the music. I love doing this show, guys. I love the control that I have with OBS Studio over the visuals and the sound, and yeah, and the quality and everything. This is a ride for me, and I'm thanking you for joining me on this ride, on this journey of The Dream is True. I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and I'm coming at you every week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on TikTok and Substack. Over on TikTok, thank you so much for all of the likes and all of the gifts. It's because of your gifts that I'm going to keep going on TikTok as well. That's what's going to, I'm definitely not getting rid of my TikTok feed for this show. So yeah. But for the full live experience, you want to still head over to Substack. And then if you miss it, you can watch the videos. They're posted after the live on Substack and on my YouTube channel. and also as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other places too that you listen to podcasts at. If those aren't the two that you currently listen to podcasts on, check it out. You just have to search up The Dream is True or MK Schultz, or if one of those doesn't work, do them both and it'll work. I've done some tests, and yeah, The Dream is True. MK Schultz definitely will bring you to my podcast, and on the YouTube channel you can just follow me there as well if you want to see the full video, or best place is, as always, Substack. Please subscribe, like, follow, forward, and thank you so much. So we're gonna head into the final strokes of the show. We are now at 8:15, so we finished right on time. So that's kind of fun. So, is there any questions? No questions. Oh yeah, so the friend, yes. So the catch up. Thank you for that question. My proofreader, the word refiner, I recall, questioned that as well. And I had to keep it. I compromised by saying, okay, at least say that you prefer it over maple syrup, just so that you don't just say he put ketchup on his French toast. Because then the proofreader was thinking, it might be a little confusing to somebody because it's not a common thing. I realize it's definitely not a common thing. It is what I grew up with. It is the comfort food of the breakfast morning that all of the flavors of the cinnamon and the French toast and cinnamon and nutmeg mixed in with the butter and ketchup. Really, it's a childhood memory that I cannot. It may be gross to certain people, but it is the absolute opposite of gross for me. It just brings it. My mouth waters just thinking about it. I challenge you to try it. But more importantly, I think you'd have to try it the way I make it too, though, because I don't know. Everybody's French toast is different. This French toast is a very unique kind of recipe, and it has a lot of butter kind of flavor in the pan. It's definitely not a healthy breakfast, but I think it's the mixture of the buttery flavor and then the ketchup contrast, and it's just to die for. I'll get you on that one of these days, A.L. McDonald. You have to try it at least. Come on. But yeah. Okay. If there's nothing else, I think we're gonna call it. And I'm just pausing for a minute. Yeah. So without further ado, if I notice any other comments from you guys, I will resume. But for now, I'm going to head into the finale of the show. So I'll take another peek before I leave, but here we are at another end of the show. Episode 28 is coming to an end, and next week we will be doing episode 29. Please join me each week. MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author. I cannot wait to continue this journey with all of you, and I thank you so much for joining me once again. So, in closing, I now recite the phrase that I heard on the song Dream of Mirrors, Iron Maiden. It is a phrase that inspires me, and I want to share it with all of you. If you have a dream, don't say, I hope my dream comes true one day. Instead, say this out loud every single day. The dream is true. And if you believe it, hey, it'll happen. That's my belief. see you all next week. Thanks a lot for joining me, and that's been great. I love the show, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys. Take care. The dream is true.